But man, did he work hard at me. He was a mason. That's one of the toughest of the toughest, man. I became an electrician because I said, block carrying blocks and mixing concrete. That shit was brutal. I rather risk getting shocked than doing that. But his thing was he only made money, right? And making money is very hard. You have to give it physical effort. Now, some of the teachers, they programmed me, oh, Michael, you're just not a numbers person. You're just not a math person. Because I didn't meet their algebra or trigonometry. I mean, I needed to learn Ohm's law, but that wasn't rocket science, right? And what about friends? Friends said like math is hard, or grandparents. Grandparents, well, one generation really, the one generation either fucks up or motivates the next generation. They normally do more damage unknown than good. They say, money's not everything. Don't waste your life away. So that bred a lot of really lazy, that bred a lot of lazy people. I bet you could read a tape. I could read a tape measure like a champ, man. I'm telling you. My dad taught me. He had the fold out ruler. Masons used those a lot. I could read it like a champ, man. But this next generation, I don't even think can read it. Yeah, stick roll. I don't think they can fucking read it at all. I don't think people could even. They got to hang a picture by guessing on the wall because most people today can't even use a tape measure. Or your boss says, this is what I get people. Um, they say more people, more problems. More employees, more problems. I say less employees, less money. That's what I say. You know, but your boss might have told you that, more money, more problems, more people. The bigger the company, the bigger the problem. How many of you have said that before, if you were to be honest? Would you say, yeah. But and now it's hard to be, it's harder to get honest on day three because you're changing so much. But I'll tell you, the bigger the company, the bigger the wealth when it's done right. The bigger the company, the bigger the wealth, the bigger the opportunity. Smaller the company, I believe smaller company, bigger problems. What do you guys think? At least that's my proof. Small company, you're driving the van, you're massaging the people, you're a slave to yourself. If something happens to you, you starve. I remember, and some of you heard the story before, you know, I wanted to, I wanted to change for a bunch of I had to change and scale companies for a couple reasons. One, I don't know. I broke my ankle and I had to wire swimming pools in a cast in crutches. Like I just knew, holy shit, if I broke both legs, what the hell was I going to do then? Crawl on the ground to wire a swimming pool? How's that going to work? And I remember making the commitment, as long as I can strengthen the wisdom in my brain, make my brain smarter, as long as I could get a signal from my brain out to the world, I can make massive wealth and abundance. So that's what I went into. Train the mind. Train the mind. And most people think we're crazy. Not my friends. My friends don't think we're crazy because some of them spend more than us. They think I'm crazy that we spent like close to 350,000 this year on education and training. Because they say, my brother's like, you're pretty smart, aren't you? Like, what? Do you need more training? I said, no, I don't need more training, but I'm always craving evolution and wisdom, you know? And so as soon as you do that, guess what? You're not a slave to the system. So I would maybe consider, maybe later when Jimmy does his process, big company, big opportunity, right? And you do know there's a formula, unless any of you created something I've never heard about before. There's always a formula. Meet me on page 43. And this here is an understanding of what we call the wealth resistance tree. And this is an example of it. So it's like, who influenced you? What did they say? And what influenced them? Right? And And green is a wealth mindset, right? Yellow is a mixed mindset, and red is a poverty mindset. This is a form of what we call, mind mapping. It's a form of mind mapping. Now, if you can look at this, let me see on the next page is this. Yeah, you're going to draw out your mind map on the next page. If you look at mind mapping, I can tell, I could pretty much predict. Let me go to the next page. I need to draw something. Okay, here. If I take a mind map, if I start drawing a timeline and I go today and I put a gap from there to there, and this is your life. And this is your parents' life. And we could even go back one more. And this is your grandparents' life. And if you actually spent the time and you took and you started to plot out everything in your parents' life, so let's call this upside and let's call this downside. And you were to plot out, your dad had a good job, and then your dad got fired, then he was unemployed, bought a house, lost a house, and you started plotting this out. And then you were born, and you start to plot out all your experiences in life. You were bullied here, you did a lemonade stand, you made no money, and then you went over here, but you got money from the tooth fairy, and you did good in school, you learned something, but then you started a business and the business collapsed. And then you did the same thing here to grandparents. You could put that in, and I could tell you pretty much the level of wealth that you'll make by analyzing that. Why? Tell me in the chat bar why. Because it tells me the exact programming on your story. You were taught how to be conservative. You were taught how to take chances or not. You were taught how to give up and when not to. And if you look at anybody with a lot of downsides here, especially if I look at women and I look at most women and most women's moms. All right, anybody tell me, any men tell me truthfully, you're pretty sure you married your wife? Are you pretty sure you might have married your mother-in-law a little bit too? Tell me. Huh? Am I off? Do they have a lot of the same tendencies? Oh God, hell. Yeah, they have a lot of the same tendencies, language patterns, behaviors. Maybe not all of them, but I bet they have some of them because you recognize that's that's why you're single. Well, you make all the wealth in the world and then you have lots of chances there, lots of other opportunities. But those of you married, there that was a model. Now, maybe some of them model different stuff, but even if it wasn't modeled, it's programmed in their mind. They might have fought against the model. My mom was nasty, so I'm not nasty. Or my mom was kind, too kind, and now I'm nasty. Little bit. Yeah, they're both clucking in the kitchen. Yeah, well, and they probably, if you look at the way they load the dishwasher and they wash the clothes, the way they fold clothes, I bet the way your wife folds clothes is probably how their mom folded clothes. You know, there's very similarities because of the life that they lived together, right? When we understand that, this is not to doom and gloom like, oh, that's what has to happen. This is to look and say, wait, now we did mind power. Oh, we did limitless training. I don't know who did limitless. And limitless, my wife's parents were on it, 75 and 82, and their life changed forever. I I didn't ever had anybody at that bracket do the training and commit all in to being willing to change the way they thought their entire life. And just a week ago or so, when they came over for steak and stuff, they're still changed. The way they think is changed. It's changed generation. Now, of course, they're a little frustrated because they wish they could have changed it earlier, but it doesn't matter. They changed it now. So, what I want all of you to do, and you're going to work on this during lunchtime, I'm going to give you a little extra time before lunch to work on it. I want you to start mapping out just like this. I want you to map out your wealth resistance tree. And okay, now if you're in the room or kitchen and your mom or dad's around, well, be careful because they might have to throw at you. Well, you turned out pretty damn good, right? Probably like I would throw at my kids too. But it doesn't matter. This is not good or bad. My mom said to me, and then I'll make sure you understand the exercise. You'll use the page here and the next page to fill it out. My mom said to me, just whatever, during the summer, she said, I feel so bad, like guilted and shamed herself because I share publicly, which most people don't want to share publicly their shit that they lived with because um I guess maybe they're embarrassed or shamed. And I believe if I could share the shit that I go through, actually I was going to post, who's on a CPAP machine? Anybody? CPAP machine? Yeah, a bunch of you. I'm going to share a post today about this cleaning device I have, which I think is just amazing. I bought it for my father-in-law because it just makes life easy. And I think when you share it publicly, but my mom she dislikes it so much, Aaron. Um, uh, oh, I talked about it yesterday. I'm optimizing my pulse and my oxygen, Jason, and I'm measuring it between the CPAP machine and my day and seeing correlations between that and blood sugar. Man, I'm just trying to Iron Man the shit out of myself. That's what I'm doing because I can't count on the doctors today to help me live to 140. I got to figure it out myself because they just don't have it. But my mom, when I went to see her, she said to me, Dave, she said, I feel bad that um, every time I hear you say you've been on your own since 15. And I said, Mom, no, no, no. Oh my God. Never, never, never feel bad. If that didn't happen to me in life, I would have never created over 500 million in two companies. I would have never sold two companies. Well, I say I coach thousands of people, but shit, that's really wrong because I had over 20,000 people come through my trainings, and that was as of 2020. So what am I at now? I'm probably at least 25,000 people through different trainings. And I said, everything that happened, it fed me to make a different decision. So I said, it's the greatest gift you ever gave me. Now she's still not accepting it because mom is mom. And, she's still, I always, when I call her, I got to get my quick douse of shaming sometimes, but I love her. And she doesn't know how much I love all those experiences because it doesn't meet the model, does it? It doesn't meet the world's model. And I'm going to share this last thing, but Morgan, just so you know, I'm going to go, everybody that's in Legacy Alliance, I have to review something with them. So if you could build a breakout room with all of them that are, oh, it's already built. I should have known better. Thank you. So there was something else I wanted to share that was really important, and I lost it in that thought. And it was not about my mom, because I already talked about her in the story. All right. Maybe it'll come back to me when you're doing this wealth resistance tree. So when you're doing the wealth tree, I want you to, yeah, it was definitely a scroll moment. I want you to don't go shallow. Think of everybody. Think of everybody. The teachers, the college teacher, the neighbors, the friends, and put as much stuff on there you can. Now, right in there, how did they influence you? What did they say? What did your grandparents say? And it's just to tell us a story because to get to the next level of wealth you want, you have to change the past programming. You have to change it. And the only way we could change it is we have to bring awareness to it first. We want to bring some awareness to it. Does everybody understand the exercise? Give me a boom or raise your hand if you're confused, because I want really good work on this. You might put, well, it's on there. The news might influence you. Look, and there's upside. I think Jim influenced you in a positive way about the economy. All right. I think you're hoping you have more greens than yellow and red, but you all have some yellows and reds. I promise you, you all have yellows and reds because it may not have been reprogrammed yet. Jimmy's probably green for you. But then maybe somebody that's complaining that you've been on training for 3 fucking days, maybe they're bitching about you. Maybe they're bitching about you. So if you're all clear on the plan, we're going to get ready to go to lunch. When we come back, I will open it up for some questions. Now, today, I would like any questions about wealth. Okay, so when I open it up, if there's a question about investing, should I buy? Wealth to me, if you want to add another vertical in your business, we could talk about that. Open a bank account. How many bank accounts? Should I do the whole profit first system bank account, which I'll tell you my belief on it. How do I get my team involved? I'm going to hope you guys bring me some really good questions. Now, going in the breakout room, as I look around here, Chris, you'll go in there. Jason and Aaron, make sure Morgan, David Easton's on there, and Eagle. And Matt Formica was off screen, but throw him in there too. Kevin Hughes, Pernilla. Okay, so hopefully